So the last couple of episodes, the episode before last, we discussed a little bit about internal warfare. Last episode was about warfare. This episode will be about the weapons of war. So God equips us with all that we need for every need that we have. And if you are searching outside of God to meet any of your needs, that's technically a weapon of war, but it's a weapon of war in the kingdom of darkness. You're worshiping um, and edifying and searching to things outside of God to suffice and provide for your needs when God does that, you know. And when you're worshiping and seeking toward friends and all of these other people, and, looking towards self to get things done, you're no longer in God's well, I can't say presence because He dwells with us, but now you're moving in pride, which is a weapon, but it's a weapon edifying the kingdom of darkness. You're moving in rebellion. You've moved yourself outside of alignment with God, and you're no longer working in or for the kingdom of light, but toward the kingdom of darkness. And you're working against God yourself, and you're working toward and walking toward, you're on that broad road to hell, honestly. But our weapons of war are so simple, and it's basic morale, you know, basic human morale that God designed us to have and equipped us with. Joy is a weapon of war. Peace is a weapon of war. Patience is a weapon of war. Self-discipline is a weapon of war. Alertness is a weapon of war. A grave and sober mind is a weapon of war. Obedience is the main weapon of war. Prayer is a weapon of war. Worship is another main weapon of war. God's word is the sword of war, and His word encompasses all those things because His word will make you self-disciplined. You're worshiping just in reading the Bible and staying in His word. You're worshiping and singing songs, which is His word. You're worshiping, you're fighting and doing all those things. That's why they say praise confuse the enemy, and I believe that's why, though Job went through, and this is one major thing I took from the story of Job, when Job got to his life began to get shaken up, Job fell to his knees and he still gave God praise, proving himself loyal and faithful, but proving that he didn't need any of this material stuff that doesn't matter, that will fade away, wither away, and we can't take it with us, we're going to die, and none of this stuff matters. This world and everything in it will wither away, including this Akadas we live in. But our weapons of war are so simple. Joy, not being envious of people and coveting or whatever it's called, and then wanting what others have. That's a weapon of war. You're taking and closing those doorways that the enemy would use to get in and confuse and pervert, but just being in God's presence alone is a weapon of war. Fasting is a weapon of war. That's why fasting helps you stay in a continual state of the spirit, which is why I believe, me personally, I fast or like to fast every week, or would try to fast every week. And I'm trying to condition my mind to fasting on a daily basis, even if I only fast 4 hours throughout the day, 8 hours throughout that day. It's a continual state of fast, a continual state of walking within the spirit. I don't listen to secular music. I only listen to songs of worship, songs, and the things that I sing, are edifying the soul. That secular music, it's killing your soul, and your ear gate is very important. It's feeding your soul the wrong things, and it's planting the wrong seeds that will produce fruit, I don't want to be a city boy, a city girl, a player, a pimp, none of that, I want to be known as a man of integrity, you know, dignity, righteous, you know, as blameless, you know, which are all weapons of war. Now, once you once you're in your basement and you're cleaning out and God's giving you these things, He's going to give you these weapons. He's going to give you this knowledge, and He will tell you how to use said weapons that He gives you and how to war. But keep in mind that the battle is never against flesh and blood, but against spirits, principalities, evilness, and high and wicked places, you know, princes of the kingdom of darkness, you know. And that's why when the world goes right, we go left. If there's a trend that the masses are following, I don't want to follow that trend. Them little Popeye sandwiches, I don't know what y'all got in that stuff. I'm not gonna eat them. You know, if too many people are doing it, I don't want it. If everybody got it, I don't want it. I want to be on a straight and narrow path, you know. But all of these things that are just basic morale, you know, things that you should want to have, things, characteristics, traits, those are all weapons of war, you know. And you're warring against the enemy, you know. Anger is a weapon of war, but it's the wrong weapon of war. Now, God does say that there's a time and a season for everything, but anger and vengeance isn't even ours, it's His. You know, being still and knowing that God is the weapon of war. The fear of the Lord is a weapon of war, you know. And it is the first step to wisdom and knowledge, you know. Wisdom is a weapon of war. Knowledge is a weapon of war. Understanding is a weapon of war. Clarity is a weapon of war. Insight is a weapon of war. You know, seeking God for everything is a weapon of war, because you're leaving no room for the enemy to get in and pervert you in any way, shape, or form. You know, celebrating everything with God is a weapon of war. Silence is a weapon of war. Jesus moved in silence, you know. That's everything the devil does is counterfeit. That's where all real G's move in silence like lasagna. I don't know why they put the lasagna part on there, but whatever. Eating good and eating clean and healthy is a weapon of war. Taking care of your body is a weapon of war. You know, protecting yourself, your home, your children, you know, your tongue. Bridling this, ooh, you something bad once you learn to bridle that. You know, once you learn to bridle that tongue, your tongue once bridled, you control your whole body. You know, though it's the smallest member, it's the most important member, because life and death lie in this. You know, it's the reason why the elites that are super elite, you don't hear them out here talking. You don't hear Beyonce addressing too much of anything. And she ain't talking unless it's a check involved. Everybody don't know where she at in real time and what she doing and all this, that, and the third. Silence is a weapon of war. Knowing and observing your enemy is a weapon of war. Be as cunning and as, not cunning, excuse me, Lord, my apologies. Be as wise as a serpent, but as gentle as a dove. Gentleness and affection is a weapon of war. Not allowing the enemy to pervert you, to get you to lean on your own understanding. With your anger, we're human, so we will feel anger, but I take my anger to God. I'll take any emotion I feel, whether it be joy, anger, happiness, love. I take all of that to God, because I don't want to lean on my own understanding, you know. And that came from fear of the Lord. That came from trials and, you know, tribulations and afflictions. I've learned to war a certain way. I've learned to enjoy everything with God before anybody else, before I can even allow myself to enjoy it. Hey, God, should I even be enjoying this? Can you help me to feel this the right way? Can you help me to process this? I need help with this situation. I need help with my finance. I need help with this. I go to submit all of your plans to the Lord, and you will succeed. The way, our whole race and our battle has already been won. You know, warring is a weapon of war, but it's a weapon from the kingdom of darkness. God didn't give us the spirit of fear, worry, nor anxiety. And those are all weapons of war, but weapons of war coming from the kingdom of darkness. You know, that's when you need to rest on God's name, El Shaddai, God Almighty. have a God who's almighty, who's limitless. Don't limit yourself or God and what he can and will do for you using the wrong weapons. That's why you should be alert. That's why alertness is a weapon of war. But it's about what you are alert to. The thoughts that you choose to entertain, the things that you choose to listen to, the things that you choose to look at. You know, it's all weapons of war. And the enemy has made it so easy. It's all in plain sight. Why are you sitting up wasting time watching gossip shows? Gossip is an abomination to God, but it's a weapon of war. But that's a weapon you're picking up, and you're warring against yourself and God in the kingdom of darkness. You know, when you could be watching maybe a spiritual movie or, you know, a podcast on some spirit stuff or a how-to. You know, this life is short and very temporary. And God's judgment is coming to America. It's coming to the entire world. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Your knowledge, the things you choose to keep into your mind are all weapons of war. But if you fill in your mind with rap lyrics and city girls and stuff that's, you know, killing your soul, Beyonce and all this, you're warring in the kingdom of darkness. Songs have mantras and spells over them. You go sing that spell right over your life and everybody else around you. You know, witches, warlocks, demons, all of this stuff is very real. Going to go get palm readings, that's a weapon of war, but it's a weapon of war for the enemy. That's against you. And then people want to sit and get upset and blame God for things that his word clearly says. He was very straightforward. People allow themselves to be confused, and that's a weapon of war, you know, confusion, but from the enemy. That's a spirit that's over you, that you have the authority to rebuke. But you can't be upset with God for not picking up his word, choosing to fill yourself with the knowledge and understanding of this world, which is demonic, instead of picking up our lifeline. But once you done opened yourself and your door to something, you can't and shouldn't get upset with God. But for one, still take joy, humble yourself, accept your mistake, you know, and seek God's provision on how to get out of whatever, you know, you've allowed yourself into. Learn to war and war correctly, you know. But again, I'm keeping these episodes fairly short. I just wanted to get on here and speak on, you know, being equipped, or allowing yourself to be alert to the weapons of war that we have. God is, again, righteous, and all righteous. Wrath and vengeance belongs to him. When somebody do you wrong, leave it and give it to God. And once you give it to God, leave it there. Don't lean on your own understanding, not even of emotions. You know, anything that you think you can possibly do to anybody that's wronged you, God can do way better. But again, you shouldn't even want vengeance or anything bad's happening to anybody, including enemies. Because at this point, you should know and understand that the battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spirits. It's spirits working through those people. You pray for them, pray over them. Excuse me, y'all, my apologies. But pray for them and pray over them. You know, bless your enemies and you will be blessed. You know, God will make a table right in front of your enemies for you to feast right in front of them, you know. But these are, the weapons of war are simple, and it's attached to just basic, like, you know, things you should be moving in, you know. And it's hard for you to have basic human decency. You know, it's hard for you to not operate in anger. It's hard for you to not move in jealousy. You need deliverance. You need to run into your basement and get to cleaning it out. Get to fasting and praying, because that's not normal. You are bound, you know. And don't fear at the fact that you may be bound by things. Rejoice and let God take it to God. Anything that you're in, any and everything that we may be bound by down here, fears God. It don't fear you, as long as you're not walking into your authority that God has given. But it fears God. It fears that light that's in you, which is why it's trying to keep you from waking up spiritually. Wake up, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And pick up your weapons of war. Guard yourself and dress yourself in the armor of God. What is it, the armor of God? Put on the full armor of God. Sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, gospel of peace, the gospel of peace for shoes, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, and the breastplate of righteousness. And keep in mind that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Peace and blessings. I love y'all. I'll be back with the next episode on how to use those weapons of war that you're equipped with. Thank you for tuning in.